What's up, world? This is Nick Grant hanging out at Chic at my listening party for my new album, The Return of the Cool, with my homie Rob at Front Row Live Entertainment. Salute, love, everything, all of that.
I loved what I heard out there.
I appreciate that.
Let's talk about that debut album.
A lot of hard work went into that.
I could tell, man. I could tell. And debut album, that's a big deal, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about the production of the record.
Yeah, it was me and my auntie just sat down and just put our thoughts together collectively and just put it together. It was a lot of hard work as far as like creating, but once we decided we wanted to go in and make this project, it was smooth sailing from there.
Now with this project, is it the same team that you had for 88? Was it a different team? Was it a mixture of that same team and more people?
It was that same team, that foundation. Then we also had like our great people at Epic, which was Courtney and Latrice from Epic Records. Shout out to them. But they came in and had their opinions on the project, and it came out dope.
Well,
thank you for knowing about 88 too.
Oh, of course. Since you mentioned Epic, you're fresh with them right now. But you've been dropping music for a while already. So how different is it going into the studio this time to record now that you have such a label like Epic behind you?
I think for me it's like learning how to make universal music. Living outside of my own selfishness musically.
Right.
88, it was just all I had to do was tell my stories. But now it's like getting people to identify with me musically and trying to create my own sound and my own identity musically, being that I'm the new guy.
Right.
So it's like I can do the hip hop stuff, and that's what 88 was, just rapping and rapping and rapping. But I wanted this body of work to show people that I can make hit records. But more so than that, it was also the principle of what hip hop was, and the principle that it was built on,
right,
which was actually caring about the craft and being passionate about the music and having content and messages and constructing real songs that people can love and sing along to, but also provoke thought.
Right. And one thing I've always heard you mention on many interviews is that you study certain artists. What is that like? How do you study certain artists, especially like the greats?
I think if you're gonna be somebody in this game, or a fixture or a face or whatever it may be, you have to do your research.
Right.
You have to do your research. That gives you longevity, knowing about the game, and not just that alone, that knowledge of. I think to do research, you have to be passionate. First of all, you have to love what you're doing. There's no Michael Jordan without Dr. J.
Yeah.
There's no Kobe Bryant without Michael Jordan.
Right.
So all these great people study each other, and it's my responsibility to do that and pay homage to the people that came before me, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do none of this stuff that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's important.
And back to this album, you have BJ the Chicago Kid on there.
Yeah.
What other collaborations do you have, and why did you stray away from other like hip hop features? You have singers on there.
Yeah. That's always been my thing, like having soul in my work. But for me, it's like people are getting to know me, so I always stay away from rap verses unless I just admire the person. So I want to get people comfortable with who I am as an artist,
right,
and then branch out. I can't sing, so I go get those people to get that point across and give the song its full potential. I'm not gonna be on the records like singing a hook. So
have you tried though?
Yeah, absolutely. It's some of the records I played tonight I was singing on, but when it's full-fledged singing all the way, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna call somebody. We need some help for that. But everything I'm gonna write everything. I'm gonna rap everything. But when it's time to sing, we gonna bring somebody in. Yeah.
Now, why is this debut album so special to you, especially the tracks that you chose for it?
Oh man, I think with this, like I said, I use the term "the cool" to describe what I feel like hip hop should be present day, based on the people that like you just said earlier. I studied all of these guys, and they helped me get into position, so I felt like I wanted to give people different vibes reminiscent of what that was, whether it be the Missy Elliott era, the Super Duper Fly album, so the Callin' record reminded me of that, or Drug Lord Couture, which reminded me of like the Jay-Z Blueprint era, all of this stuff. So it's just different eras that influence my music, and not only creatively as an artist, but also as a person, so to do these records, they meant a lot.
Do you feel like anybody could listen to the album and catch those samples or examples that you mentioned from those influences?
Absolutely. That DNA is in me creatively, so it's always gonna spill out. That's always gonna spill out. Like, I'm a huge Missy fan, so you know, you can. It's obvious. Like, so I walked out here, 3 people say, "Yo, this reminded me of Missy Elliott," you know. So yeah, it's gonna always be obvious, but not in the sense of like I took their whole.
Where you sound like them. Yeah,
exactly, not that, but it's like, yo, this is reminiscent of that, but I like this too. You know, this is dope. It makes me feel like I'm back in that time, you know, and that's the purpose of it. But
so most importantly, where do you feel you've grown in the music industry? Whether it's like writing or you know getting out what you want to get out, or just going into the studio to record.
Oh man, like recording for me has always been the same process.
Yeah.
It hasn't gotten any less difficult or any more difficult. That's just what I'm so accustomed to doing for so long. I've been writing rhymes since I was 12 years old. I think the most thing that can be uncomfortable at times is like people, you know what I'm saying? So dealing with and balancing so many different
like new teams or
no, not even new teams, just people in your everyday life, you know. Those people expect you to do or be a certain way. And if you're not, you know, you changed. So, you know, that can get difficult at times too. So, you know, but it's not even them, it's not even you, it's that they expect something from you and when they don't get it, you know, you change. So that can be a little difficult at times but you know, we know the goal, we know the mission, you know, tunnel vision. We got to get to the top. So that comes with wanting to be number one. That comes with wanting to be successful. That comes with, you know, all the good things on the other side. So you got to fight the war to get to the other side.
That is true. And speaking of change, you've had a crazy year from South by Southwest earlier this year to now releasing your debut album. And, you know, who knows what's going on after this album drops. But what has the year been like for you?
Oh, man, it's been fun, man. Like, you know, I remember writing rhymes in my room that nobody could hear. I remember I couldn't get a retweet, and now we can fill up a room and give out all the headphones to somebody to listen to my debut album. So, you know, those things are like priceless to me. Those things I really care about from the bottom of my heart. You know what I mean? So it's like I appreciate everything, man, on this journey. This journey has been crazy. Like I said, to nobody hearing your rhymes in the room, and you the only one hearing them and impressing yourself. So, you know, you got people saying, yo, you love me, I love you, or this record made my life, or, you know, this record changed my life, and you're like my favorite artist. You up there with the J. Cole's and the, you know, I just wrote these raps in my room. Broke, hungry, rolling up pennies to eat. And now you telling me I'm your favorite artist.
That must be amazing, like a great feeling.
Man, that's amazing.
So today's listening party was a silent listening party. What made you want to do this?
Me and my team came together and came up with this idea because, you know, it was like simply just people coming to your listening parties to see other people and have the food and drink the beer, but not actually listening to the music. So it was like, let's do a party where we can see all these people that we enjoy being around and new people as well, but they actually listening to the music. Being that I'm the type of artist that you have to listen to and digest the music a certain way. Let's put these headphones on people where they have little interaction, but still be in a room with people and feel that energy. So, yeah.
One thing I did notice standing outside was people were walking by, you know, that didn't know what was going on, but yet they were like, I want to check this out. So they would come in and listen to the music and then walk out like, whoa, new artist.
That's the whole purpose of it, to do something different and catch people's eyes and catch people's attention. So, you know, I really, this was a brilliant idea.
It definitely was. Now, after they heard the actual album, you did tease a little bit about a track that you did with Usher for another project. You're already thinking about another project. That's insane. But can we talk about this collaboration with Usher and what was it like working with someone that, you know, he's been around the game for quite some time. So I'm sure you learned a lot from that.
Man, that man made like, you know, the soundtrack to my life, so to speak. You know, I owe him so much for all the girls I got and all the game that I got through the music. So, you know, Ray helped.
And you say you can't sing.
Right, I can't sing, but you know, it's just those experiences that he had. Just, you know, I took the good and the bad from his music. You know, he kind of helped raise me, like in my teenage years, or even in like my middle school years of, you know, getting girls and all of this stuff. So I look up to that guy. So to be in a room, it wasn't like a thing of send me the record, and you know, I recorded from there. It was like, sit in the room with me and let's make this happen. And that was like, not only are you gonna do the record, I get to record it with you. It's like amazing.
That's definitely a blessing. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, and it's off the forthcoming project. Like, not this one I'm about to put out. The one is right after this. So this talks about. It's called Sunday Dinner. I'm gonna give you a Jew.
Okay.
So being from the South, only thing that held the family together and the only time you saw all of your family was Sunday dinner.
Okay.
Like where I'm from.
Right.
And in my family. So other than like funerals and cookouts and all this stuff, it was Sunday dinner.
Yeah.
So at Sunday dinner, you got to see your uncle with the gambling problem. You got to see your aunt who was on drugs. You got to see your cousin and all of these.
You got the real deal.
Yeah, all of these different, all these different vibes of people and all of these different personalities coming together at one.
Yeah.
And you the kid at the end of the table just seeing all of these different personalities and how they mold and change your life. So with this project, this is I feel like that's going to be Return of the Cool was like the layup.
Right.
Sunday dinner is the dunk.
Gotcha. Now, Return of the Cool, I still don't see an actual release date. It just says October and then December, and then it's out right now. So
coming soon.
You keep teasing us, man.
Coming soon. Coming soon. I got you. I ain't gonna let you down.
All right. Well, I mean, the fans loved it. What they heard today.
No, I'm glad they appreciate it, man. Like I said, a lot of hard work went into that.
Yeah.
Like this is my life, man. So for me I'm like a real private person. So for me to put like my experiences on beats and talk about all this deep shit on like, can I curse?
Yeah.
So yeah, talking about all this deep shit on like tracks or whatever and giving it to the world to hear and digest. I'm an authentic person, so I'm not making up stories and putting them in raps like that. So
Right.
so for me to talk about my life and give it to people, and they appreciate and accept it, that's a blessing.
Right.
So yeah.
Nice. Well, once this drops, what are the plans for 2017? The year's already over, man.
To keep killing, man. Like I said, I feel like there's a Mount Rushmore of MCs with Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, Tupac. Those guys are never, they transcended music. They're gonna be here forever. As far as like who were the greats and who were the founders of this. But as far as like this new generation of kings, I want to be in that conversation. I want to be in the conversation with J. Cole. I want to be in the conversation with Kendrick, Big Sean, Wale, all of these guys who you consider the best, the Drakes, all of these guys. I want to be better than them. No disrespect to them. I love those guys and what they do for the culture, but I want to be in those conversations. That's my goal for 2017 and beyond.